Step back in time and uncover the fascinating and powerful dynasties that shaped Armenia's history. From the mighty Artaxiad kingdom to the legendary Bagratuni Dynasty, join me on a journey through centuries of struggle, triumph, and intrigue as we uncover the legacies of the royal Armenian dynasties through time. After the fall of the kingdom of Urartu in the 6th century BC, the region of Armenia came under Persian rule. Within the Persian Empire, the satrapy of Armenia was governed by a nobleman named Orontes. When Persia fell to Alexander the Great, Orontes saw an opportunity and established the Kingdom of Armenia in 330 BC. There is some debate among historians whether the Orontid Dynasty was of Armenian or Persian origin. The Orontids themselves stressed their lineage from the Persians in order to strengthen their political legitimacy. However, despite Persian and Hellenistic influences, the local Armenian culture remained the strongest element within society and the elites. The Greek historian Xenophon, who traveled through Armenia, mentions using a translator to speak to Armenians, while some villages were able to hold a conversation in Persian. In 190 BC, a coup by the Armenian noble family of Artaxias toppled the Orontid Dynasty and declared independence, with Artaxias becoming the first king. The Artaxiad Dynasty played a significant role in the territorial expansion of the kingdom. Artaxias and his followers constructed a robust kingdom upon which Tigranes the Great would later build his empire. Thanks to his military campaigns, the Kingdom of Armenia would reach its greatest extent, with borders stretching from the Caspian to the Mediterranean, briefly becoming the most powerful entity second to Rome. Roman campaigns would eventually put an end to Artaxiad rule, and the dynasty would fall into chaos. Following the fall of the Artaxiad dynasty, there was a short period of turmoil in Armenia with non-dynastic rulers, mostly under Roman protectorate. One of these rulers was named Tiridates, who eventually secured his position as a Roman client king, marking the foundation of the Arsacid Dynasty. Two of the most notable events under Arsacid rule were the conversion of Armenia to Christianity and the creation of the Armenian alphabet. I have made dedicated videos about several interesting Arsacid Dynasty figures, so be sure to check out their stories after this video to learn more about them. Armenia would be divided into western and eastern parts in 387, following a treaty between the Persian and the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire. The Arsacid dynasty managed to preserve their power to some extent, either under Byzantine or Persian protectorate, until 428, when they fell out of history and Armenia fell further under foreign rule for several centuries. During this period of foreign rule, we have records of many Armenian princely and noble families who held on to their titles. An honorable mention here goes to the Mamikonian family, who, even though didn't hold a large domain of their own, were the most notable noble house in Armenia, even serving in the court of the former Arsacid dynasty and holding hereditary positions such as Sparabet, supreme commander of the army, allowing them to sometimes play the role of kingmaker for the later Armenian kings. Their influence over Armenian affairs began to decline at the end of the 6th century and suffered a final decisive blow after a failed rebellion against Arab rule in the 8th century. Another name that starts to come up around this period is Bagratuni. Unlike the Mamikonians, the Bagratunis rose to become the most prominent Armenian noble family during the period of Arab rule, eventually establishing their own independent kingdom, the Bagratuni Kingdom of Armenia, led by Ashot. In an effort to unify the Armenian nation under one flag, the Bagratuni subjugated other Armenian noble families through conquest and fragile marriage alliances, which worked out great and Armenia flourished. Until it didn't. After a period of stability and prosperity, two ancient noble dynasties broke off the central kingdom to establish their own kingdoms. The Artaxiad Dynasty established the kingdom of Vaspuragan, and the Hethumian Dynasty established the kingdom of Syunik. If that wasn't enough, the Bagratuni Dynasty itself became fractured and divided into the Ani branch and the Kars branch, and later the Kurikian branch of the family broke off to establish the kingdom of Lori. Around this time we also see the kingdom of Artsakh, with the region later being ruled by the house of Hassan Jalalian among other princely dynasties. It was a period of many Armenian states ruled by different Armenian dynasties, and all of them and their fractured kingdoms would sooner or later succumb to the Byzantines, the Arabs, or the newcomers of the region, the Seljuk Turks. Another family that split off from the larger Bagratuni dynasty was the Rubenian Dynasty, and they were among the many Armenians fleeing the Seljuk invasion who ended up in the Kilikia region. Initially, the Rubenians were regional princes, but thanks to their close ties to the Western world, after the First Crusade, the principality was recognized as a kingdom by the Holy Roman Empire, with Leo becoming the first Rubenian to ascend to the throne as king. The Rubenian dynasty fell in 1252 after the death of their last monarch Isabella, and her husband Hethum became the sole ruler, beginning the Hethumian Dynasty. But after relentless attacks by the Mamluks in the 14th century, the Armenian kingdom of Kilikia finally fell in 1375. From the earliest known rulers to the fall of the last kingdom, the history of the early Armenian dynasties is long and complex. I hope this video provided a deeper understanding of these dynasties throughout the passage of time. I also recommend checking out this video by Arminator for a more geographical approach. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep the tradition alive by having an argument in the comments about which dynasty was best.